Ever pondered why sexual preferences vary so widely among humans and why some preferences are deemed unusual or strange? It's a fascinating topic, one that opens us up to the vast diversity of human experience and the complexities of our desires. The realm of human sexuality is a spectrum, abundant with different shades of preferences and interests as varied as the individuals themselves. Some of these interests align with societal norms, while others, due to their rarity or misunderstood nature, are often branded as strange or unusual. In a world where we are gradually becoming more accepting and understanding of different sexual preferences, it's important to remember that not everyone finds this transition easy. This is particularly true when a preference is not just out of the ordinary, but also a source of discomfort or concern for a partner in a relationship. Today, we'll be sharing a story that explores this very theme. It's a tale about a man who has an unusual sexual preference, one that revolves around a fascination for feet. Yes, you heard that right, feet. This man's intense passion for his girlfriend's feet was so strong that it left her feeling deeply troubled. This interest, often referred to as a foot fetish, is a type of body fetish syndrome. This syndrome, as controversial as it might sound, is a form of sexual interest where arousal is derived from specific body parts. In this man's case, it was his girlfriend's feet that sparked his desire. But what happens when this passion becomes a source of distress for the other person in the relationship? How does one navigate through such a complex situation? This is the intriguing journey that our story will take us on. So are you ready to step into this captivating narrative? Stay tuned as we delve into a captivating story about a man with an unusual sexual preference that left his girlfriend troubled. Meet our protagonist, a 29-year-old man with an unusual affinity for feet. This gentleman, whose identity we'll keep anonymous, found himself drawn to the aesthetic of feet from a young age. He appreciated the clean, well-maintained feet and neat nails, a preference that he only discovered was out of the ordinary as he grew older. In his current relationship, his girlfriend happens to possess the exact qualities he admires. She has feet that in his eyes are nothing short of perfect. However, his adoration for her feet took a turn that neither of them expected. Every time they became intimate, he felt a strong desire to kiss her feet. For him, it was an act of love, a way to appreciate a part of her that he found incredibly attractive. But for her, this act was something that she found discomforting. She found herself developing a fear, even an allergy, towards her boyfriend's foot-kissing habit. She would often deny him the act or only allow it for a brief moment. This had a significant effect on their intimacy. Every time she asked him to stop, his arousal would immediately deflate, leading her to believe that he was physically weak. This misunderstanding led to criticisms and tensions in their relationship. This man, as we learn, is not alone in his preference. His fascination with feet falls under a condition known as body fetish syndrome, specifically a foot fetish. This refers to individuals who derive sexual pleasure from feet, including the soles and toes. For such individuals, touching or caressing feet can lead to arousal and, in some cases, reach climax, which they find more satisfying than traditional sexual acts. As we can see, the man's unusual preference has caused some tension in his relationship. But what exactly is a foot fetish? It's not considered mainstream, but it's not strange either. In a society that's learning to accept diverse preferences, the challenge lies in understanding, negotiating, and respecting these preferences within our relationships. And that's what we'll delve into next. Foot fetish, a term you might have heard but might not fully understand. Let's delve into this intriguing facet of human sexuality. Foot fetish is a specific form of what's known as body fetish syndrome. This syndrome refers to a sexual interest focused on a specific part of the human body. In this case, it's all about the feet. Now you might wonder, how does this foot fascination manifest? Well, those with a foot fetish find feet, including soles and toes, sexually attractive and arousing. This could involve admiring, touching, or even kissing the feet. And yes, this can trigger sexual arousal. Some individuals with a foot fetish may even find sexual gratification in foot-related activities more pleasurable than traditional sexual interactions. But how common is this foot fascination? While exact figures are hard to pin down, Various studies have suggested that foot fetishism is one of the most common forms of body fetish, especially among men. So if you find yourself with an affinity for feet, know that you're not alone. But here's the kicker: how does society view foot fetishism? Well, the answer is a mixed bag. As with any sexual preference outside the perceived norm, foot fetishism can be misunderstood, stigmatized, or even ridiculed. Yet it's important to remember that as long as these interests are pursued in a consensual, respectful, and legal manner, there's nothing inherently wrong or harmful about them. In a broader sense, our society is becoming more accepting and understanding of diverse sexual preferences. However, not everyone may be as open-minded. This can lead to feelings of confusion or even fear, particularly if your partner doesn't share your foot fascination. As with any sexual preference, foot fetish is just another facet of human sexuality. But what happens when your partner doesn't share your preference? As we explore this topic further, remember, understanding and communication are key in navigating any relationship, especially when it comes to sexuality. Imagine finding out your partner has a sexual preference you find unusual or even uncomfortable. It's a situation that would likely leave many of us feeling unsure or even anxious. But it's crucial to remember that in the realm of relationships, understanding and communication reign supreme. When faced with this kind of scenario, the first step is to have an open and honest conversation. It's essential to discuss these preferences with your partner and express your feelings clearly. You might be surprised to find that your partner is equally anxious about revealing their unique preference. When talking about these preferences, it's important to be non-judgmental. Remember, these feelings are likely as natural to your partner as your preferences are to you. The goal here isn't to change your partner or their desires, but rather to understand them better and find a common ground where both of you feel comfortable and satisfied. As you navigate through this conversation, be sure to emphasize the importance of mutual respect and consent. If there's something you're not comfortable with, express that. You're under no obligation to participate in something you don't want to. But what if you're willing to explore this new territory? It's important to set boundaries that work for both of you. Establish what you're comfortable with and what's off the table. It's a two-way street and both partners should feel safe and respected. In some cases, it might be beneficial to seek professional advice. Therapists and counselors trained in sexual health can provide valuable insights and guidance. They can help you navigate through these unusual preferences in a healthy and respectful way. Remember, every individual is unique, and so are their preferences. It's perfectly okay to have different likes and dislikes. The key is to approach these differences with understanding, respect, and a willingness to communicate. Remember, love is about accepting the other person wholeheartedly, including their unique quirks and preferences. And who knows, exploring this new side of your partner might even bring you closer, strengthening your bond in ways you never thought possible. Understanding and respect are key in any relationship, more so when dealing with unusual sexual preferences. But is foot fetish harmful? The question lingers, is body fetish syndrome harmful? Body fetish syndrome, also known as somatophilia, is a sexual interest that focuses on specific body parts. This could be hair, breasts, buttocks, or, as in our case study, feet. It's a subject that stirs up a great deal of controversy, and it's frequently discussed among medical professionals. Some forms of this syndrome, such as pedophilia and necrophilia, are socially unacceptable and illegal, leading to much of the negative perception around this syndrome. However, it's important to note that not all forms of body fetish syndrome are harmful. In fact, many are not. It's essential to draw a clear line between what's considered a harmless fetish and what veers into the realm of harmful obsession. The key factor to consider here is whether the fetish causes distress or harm to either the individual or others involved. If it doesn't, and as long as it doesn't impair the individual's ability to carry out daily activities, it's generally not considered to be harmful. In other words, if a foot fetish, for instance, doesn't cause any distress or harm and doesn't interfere with the individual's daily life, then it's not problematic. It's merely a different form of sexual interest. However, it is crucial to maintain open and respectful communication in any relationship where a fetish is involved. Both parties must feel comfortable and consent to any activities related to the fetish. If one person feels uncomfortable, then it's time to have a serious conversation and possibly reevaluate the situation. It's also necessary to remember that everyone is entitled to their boundaries. Forcing or coercing someone into participating in activities related to a fetish is unacceptable and can be harmful. In conclusion, while unusual sexual preferences might be challenging to navigate, understanding and acceptance pave the way for healthier relationships and a more open society.